Hey there, fantasy owners. LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're chiming in watching via YouTube or listening via podcast, but really do appreciate the watch or listen no matter how you're streaming the episode. Before we get started, do want to mention we do have a new partnership with 247clash.com. Link is in the description there. It's a pools type player versus player fantasy game. It's pretty much made winnable for anyone there. If you do decide to go to www.247clash.com, when you get to the homepage, at the top of the homepage, there's a how to play video. It's roughly about 50 seconds long there. It explains the game fairly well, and hopefully, if you do decide to sign up, use referral code LTC. Hopefully, you'll start winning some cash while also helping out our show behind the scenes there. Do note it is for Canadian residents only at this time. That may change in the future, but for right now, it is for Canadian residents only there. So today's our Week 20 Weekend Ads episode. So we're going to look at the weekend schedule, suggest players from there to hopefully help strengthen your fantasy roster as you guys make the final push for the wins in your leagues there. Some things to note for this weekend. It's pretty typical. Light night Friday, 5 games. Saturday, heavy, 12 games. And Sunday back to being a lighter night at 5 games there. So we will focus on Friday and Sunday as those are the lightest nights. We will also cover Saturday teams that play either Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. That way, if you do decide to add some of those players, you're at least getting 2 games out of them, hopefully maximizing on some games played there. So we will cover Anaheim first as they do play Friday only. Then we will cover Philadelphia as they play Sunday only. Then we will cover 6 teams that play both Friday and Sunday. So fair amount of options that get both light nights this weekend. And then we'll cover teams that play Friday and Saturday and finish with teams that play Saturday and Sunday there. So basically, we'll get right into it. Some Anaheim options for you. They're playing Friday only this weekend. On the back end, maybe look at Cam Fowler, owned in 15% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit there, and he has 8 points his last 7 games. And in those 7 games, he's +4, 1 power play point, and 11 blocks. He's streaky, but hot at the moment there. He does get points in some bunches there, so he should be a fairly nice light night ad. Anaheim maybe is John Klingberg, owned in 37% of Yahoo leagues, plays second pairing, second power play unit there. He has 7 points his last 7 games, couple of those being on the power play, also has 9 blocks. He's been a lot better recently, kind of coming into form right before trade deadline. Probably wants the heck out of Anaheim there, and should be a good ad on a light night. Next one is Ryan Strome, listed as a center, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues. He plays top line, top power play unit there. He has 3 points the last 4 games, and in those 4 games, he's also +2 in there. He has been really hit or miss his first season in Anaheim there, so he is very risky, but it is a light night, and if you're in a real deep league, it's a gamble, but it might pay off for you. Another one in Anaheim maybe is Jacob Silfverberg, listed as a right winger, available everywhere, 0% owned there. He's playing top line, second power play unit, and he has goals in 3 straight games and 6 shots on goal in those 3 games. He is on a small role, but he is in the top 6. He hasn't been most of the season, so he might be worth a roll of the dice on this weekend. Last one in Anaheim's Mason McTavish, listed as center left winger, owned in 14% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit there, and he has 7 points his last 9 games, and in those 9 games also fired 18 shots on goal there. He has talent, but he is streaky, but on a light night, he might be an okay ad for you. We'll move along to Philadelphia. They're playing Sunday only. Philadelphia is struggling to score goals, so all of these options are kind of risky, but we'll cover some that might pay off for you. On the back end, maybe look at Ivan Provorov, owned in 37% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing on the second power play unit, and he has 3 points his last 7 games. And in those 7 games, he has 7 hits and 12 blocks in there. His offense has been really sporadic this season, but he gets an okay amount of hits and really nice amount of blocks there, so he could help in some formats. Up front, maybe look at Owen Tippett, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing on the top line right now. He has 4 points the last 7 games, so not the greatest, but as I mentioned earlier, Philly's struggling to score. He has 24 shots on goal, 13 hits, and 7 blocks in those 7 games, though. So a little bit of offense, but Philly is struggling to score there. He can help you in some other cats, so depending how deep and what cats are covered in your league, he could provide some value for you. Next one's Morgan Frost, listed as center left winger, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing top line, and he also has 4 points the last 7 games with 9 hits and 6 blocks. He's similar to Tippett in a bit, just lighter in his cats numbers, so risky but an option for you. Last one in Philly, maybe is Noah Cates, listed as center left winger, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line for them, and he has 4 points the last 6 games with 6 blocks in there. He's same story. He's risky, but an option on a light night for you. Before we do get into the next segment, do want to ask, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so, as we are trying to grow it. Hopefully you're getting some value out of these episodes and they're helping you secure some wins in your leagues there. If you're listening via podcast, give us a 5-star review. That helps us grow that way also. And yeah, that's my own little plug, and we'll get into some Demon that play both Friday and Sunday. Get both light nights this weekend, and we'll start off in Arizona. Maybe look at Shayne Gostisbehere, owned in 35% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, second power play unit there. He has 1 point the last 3 games with 11 shots on goal and 4 blocks. He got a shorthanded goal his last game. Maybe that's knocking the rust off after he's off for a little bit there. But when healthy, he should be a decent option for this weekend. Another one in Arizona maybe is J.J. Moser, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, plays second pairing, second power play unit there. He has 3 points his last 6 games. One of those points being on the power play and 9 hits in there. He is streaky. He really is streaky there, but in a real deep league, he is an option for this weekend. Last one in Arizona is Juuso Välimäki, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, top power play unit. He has 8 points his last 9 games. Half of those points, 4 of those points being on the power play there, with 16 shots on goal and 15 hits in those 9 games. He's been good the last few weeks, ever since they put Chychrun in the press box waiting for a trade there, and he should be an okay option with both light nights this weekend. Over in Montreal, maybe look at Michael Matheson, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, top power play unit there, and he has 9 points his last 9 games. In those 9 games, also +7. Being a plus player in Montreal is pretty darn good over that stretch. 3 points on the power play in those 9 games, 21 shots on goal, 12 hits, and 14 blocks in there. He's been really good of late and should be a really solid streaming option this weekend. Another one in Montreal, maybe look at Justin Barron, owned in 0% of Yahoo leagues, so you should be able to pick him up if you need him. Second pairing, second power play unit there. He has points in 3 straight with 3 blocks in those 3 games. He's streaky, but he is on a small roll, so if you are in a real deep league and stress real deep league, he is an option for you this weekend. Last one's Jamie Oleksiak over in Seattle, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing. He's put up 5 points the last 6 games, and in those 6 games, he's +3, 10 shots on goal, 6 hits, 6 blocks. He's not known for his offense, but he's on a small role of late. So he is very risky, but he is an option for you in the deeper leagues where it might pay off with the small role he's on. So now we'll move along to some forwards that get both light nights, playing both Friday and Sunday there. Start off in the desert again. Look at Nick Schmaltz, listed as center right winger, owned in 32% of Yahoo leagues. Plays top line, top power play unit, and he has 11 points his last 8 games. And in those 8 games, 3 of those points being on the power play, also 16 shots on goal. It's been really good ever since he got back from his injury there, and he'll be a really good add in your scoring leagues, even your Cats leagues, to add up some points. He's been really good of late. Another one in Arizona is Matias Maccelli, listed as a left winger, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, second power play unit, and he's put up 6 points his last 6 games, plus 3 in those 6 games, couple power play points and 4 blocks in there. He's streaky, but he's been on a roll these last couple of weeks and be an okay option in your deeper leagues. Over in Carolina, maybe look at Seth Jarvis, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 34% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, second power play unit there, and he's put up 7 points his last 5 games, and in those 5 games, also plus 8 and 19 shots on goal. He's been hot the last little bit after a pretty good slump there. Should be a nice add in your scoring leagues if it continues there. Another one in Carolina, maybe look at Jesperi Kotkaniemi, listed as center left winger, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit. He's put up 8 points the last 9 games, and in those 9 games also thrown 11 hits there. He's been pretty kind of hit or miss pretty much this year, but decent recently, so he could help you in some formats there. Over in Montreal, maybe look at Nick Suzuki, listed as a center, down to 54% owned, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 4 points in a 3-game point streak there, and in these 3 games he's also plus 4 and had 3 blocks in there. He's been streaky since Caulfield got hurt there, but he's been better recently, so he could be a gamble that pays off if he is available in your league there. Another one in Montreal, maybe look at Raphael Harvey-Pinard, listed as a left winger, owned in 11% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit. He's put up 7 points his last 9 games, so decent offense, plus 6 in those 9 games, couple power play points, 10 hits, 19 blocks. Those are like defenseman numbers for blocks in there. So decent offense, nice amount of hits, and a lot of blocks. He'll be an okay streamer in a Cats league for you this weekend. Another one in Montreal, maybe look at Mike Hoffman, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line on the top power play unit right now. He has 9 points his last 9 games, 4 of those points coming on the power play, and 27 shots on goal in those 9 games. So firing a lot of pucks on net too there. He's been sporadic but decent lately, so he should be an alright streamer in your deeper leagues there. Over in New Jersey, maybe look at Thomas Tatar, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 10% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, second power play unit there. He's put up 7 points the last 9 games, and plus 10 in those 9 games. It's been not bad, not great, but could be an okay option in your deeper scoring leagues. Another one in New Jersey is Dawson Mercer, listed as center right winger, owned in 32% of Yahoo leagues. That's rising quickly there. He's playing top line, second power play unit, and he has 8 goals and 2 assists for 10 points. So 8 goals in just the last 6 games in a 6-game point streak here. He's been on an absolute tear and should be a great streamer for you this weekend if you can get him. Over in Seattle, maybe look at Matty Beniers, listed as a center, owned in 37% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 6 points his last 5 games. In those 5 games, couple power play points, 9 shots on goal, and 4 blocks. As a right winger, owned in 20% of Yahoo leagues. He plays top line, top power play unit there, and he has 9 points his last 7 games, and in those 9 points, 3 have been on the power play, 16 shots on goal in there. So he's been having a decent year, and he should bring value if you do decide to stream him this weekend. Another one in Seattle's Jared McCann, listed as center left winger, owned in 30% of Yahoo leagues. He also plays in the top line and top power play unit for the Kraken there. And he has points in 7 of his last 8 games. And of those points, a couple have been on the power play. Also 19 shots on goal in those 8 games. He's been consistent, so he should be a safe all-right option for you. Another one in Seattle is Eli Tolvanen, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line up on the top power play unit there, and he is pointless the last 3 games, but he had points in 5 straight previously there. He's a little streaky, but with both light nights, he should be a solid option in your deeper leagues. Next one's over in Vegas. Maybe look at Riley Smith, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 43% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit for Vegas there. He has 7 points the last 9 games, and in those 9 games, he's +6, 23 shots on goal, 10 hits, and 7 blocks there. He's been okay recently and should be an okay streamer for Cats leagues. Now we'll move along to some Demon that play Friday and Saturday. Start off in Columbus. Maybe look at Adam Boquist, owned in 12% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit. He has 6 points his last 6 games. 3 of those points being on the power play, 10 blocks on there. He did miss his last game. I'm recording this on Tuesday. Not sure if he is playing tonight or not. So do check his status. If he is available, he'll be a good add in scoring leagues. Over in Edmonton, maybe look at Brett Kulak, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing for the Oilers, and he has 5 points the last 9 games, so decent, to over half point per game. 18 shots on goal in there, 14 hits and 12 blocks. He's chipping in a little bit of late and chipping in more than just hits and blocks there, so he could be an okay option in a real deep Cats league. Last one is Neil Pionk over in Winnipeg, owned in 50% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit there. And he has 3 points his last 5 games, and in those 5 games he has 9 shots on goal and 11 hits. He's streaky, so he obviously is risky, but an option if you are in a pinch there. Move along to some forwards that play both Friday and Saturday. Start off in Columbus again. Maybe look at Boone Jenner, listed as a center, owned in 41% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit. He's been doing a little bit of everything. 8 points his last 8 games, couple points on the power play in those 8 games, 34 shots on goal, 18 hits, and 11 blocks. He's been good, and he'll be a very, very solid option for you in a Cats league this weekend. Another one in Columbus is Jack Roslovich, listed as a center, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, second power play unit there, and he has 7 points his last 8 games, and in those 8 games also blocked 8 shots in there. He has been hit or miss, so you may kind of love him or hate him, but he could be a gamble that pays off for you this weekend. Over in Edmonton, maybe look at Warren Foegele, listed as a left winger, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line for the Oilers there, and he has 5 points the last 6 games, 4 of those being goals, 14 shots on goal and 10 hits in those 6 games. He's been solid the last couple of weeks. It's just that he does disappear for long stretches, so he could help in your real deep leagues this weekend. Over in Winnipeg, maybe look at the new addition, Nino Niederreiter, listed as a left winger, owned in 18% of Yahoo leagues. He just a new addition. He had one practice. He practiced on the second line and top power play unit. Who knows if that turns into the game where he is going to fit in, but it could be an option for you in his New Jersey and Winnipeg there. Another one in Winnipeg's maybe Blake Wheeler, listed as a right winger, owned in 51% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit, and he has only 1 point his last 5 games. That is misleading because I am recording this on Tuesday. Do know he did get at least 1 point tonight. Think it might be 2 there. But he has been good most of the year, and looks like he's kind of snapping out of that slump here. So he should be a very solid streamer if he is available there. Now we'll move along to some Demon that play both Saturday and Sunday. Start off in Colorado. Maybe look at Samuel Girard, owned in 30% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, second power play unit there, and he has 7 points his last 10 games. One of those points being on the power play with 13 hits and 20 blocks in those 10 games. So he's been decent all around and could bring value this weekend for you in a Cats league. Another one in Colorado, maybe look at Josh Manson, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, and he's put up 3 points the last 5 games. And in those 5 games, he's +9, 10 shots on goal, 14 hits, 16 blocks. He's not known for his offense. He's a little lately, but definitely don't count on it there. But he's been good since back in the lineup and should help you in a Cats league with the amount of hits and blocks he gets. Next one's over in Detroit. Maybe look at Ben Girard, owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line for, or second pairing for the Red Wings there. He has 3 points the last 9 games, so not the greatest amount of offense, but he's not known for offense either. But in those 9 games, also has 11 hits and 20 blocks in there. He has a little bit of offense, as I mentioned there, but okay hits and blocks, so he could help in some deeper, and I mean deeper formats. Now we'll finish it off with some forwards that play both Saturday and Sunday. Start off in Colorado again. Maybe look at JT Compher, listed as center right winger, owned in 35% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit for the Avalanche there. And he has 11 points his last 8 games. And in those 8 games, he's +7, has 20 shots on goal and 15 blocks. It's been solid for a while there. Kind of don't realize it with McKinnon and Ratton in there, but he should be a solid option for you this weekend. Over in Detroit, maybe look at Tyler Bertuzzi, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 25% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 6 points the last 6 games. And in those 6 games, he has 18 shots on goal, 8 hits, and 4 blocks in there. He's been really good the last few weeks there and should bring value if you decide to stream him. Another one in Detroit maybe look at is David Perron, listed as a right winger, owned in 45% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit for the Red Wings there, and he has 8 points his last 10 games there. 6 of those 8 points have been on the power play, so really nice power play production of late. 25 shots on goal and 11 hits in those 10 games as well. So he's been decent production, really good on the power play of late, so he will be a decent ad for you this weekend in some formats. Over in Tampa there, maybe look at Anthony Torelli, listed as center left winger, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing second line for the Lightning there. He has 9 points his last 9 games, and in those 9 games, he's +6, 20 shots on goal, and 9 blocks in there. He's been pretty good recently and should be a nice ad in your deeper leagues. Another one in Tampa is Nicholas Paul, listed as center left winger, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues as well. Plays on the third line for Tampa there. He has 3 points his last 4 games and 6 hits in those 4 games. He is kind of hit or miss, so he is a gamble there, but he's doing okay of late. So if you're in a real deep league, and do stress real deep league, he might be worth taking a gamble on. And the last one in Tampa is Alex Killorn, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 28% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 9 points his last 9 games. Looks good as a point per game, but do note that all 9 points came in 4 multi-point games, so it's either going to be a multi-point game or a bagel of late there. So he is kind of feast or famine, risky, but it's a risk that could pay off for you. That's it for today's episode. If you're watching via YouTube, remember to hit like, hit subscribe, remember that notification bell. If you're listening via podcast, please remember to give us a 5-star review there. That way it helps expand our podcast a bit there. And don't forget to check out www.247clash.com. If you do decide to sign up, do use referral code LTC, and good luck and enjoy trade deadline. Hopefully not too many of these players have traded places by the time this episode's come out, and we'll talk to you soon, and good luck there, fantasy owners.